And thank you to everyone who's come in there to help push this algorithm and to push this live stream for the animals. We appreciate every single one of you so much. As you come in, remember that early interaction is paramount to the success of live streaming. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, guys. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open to these conversations. And 3, if you don't care about animals, please put them in there right now. Hit the hearts. Please double tap the screen to like this stream. And guys, I want to start off with a disclaimer just to say we're here today to exercise our right to public assembly. We're here to lawfully protest. We are not here to cause alarm, harassment, or distress. We're not here to intimidate, cause intimidation. Our protest intends to stay lawful. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, I want to tell you what we're here today to do. This is a slaughterhouse, guys. About 40 meters in front of me is the gates of the slaughterhouse, ABP slaughterhouse here. They're killing cows here this morning. We're coming here to show you, the members of the public, the truth that the industry do so well to hide. Guys, as you're coming in, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2, if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3, if you don't care about animals. Now, my second disclaimer on this live stream, if you're just tuning in, we're not here to clash with anybody today. We are not here to point fingers. We're not here to say you're a bad person if you're not vegan. We're here to show you the realities and the truths, because you're never given a chance as a consumer. Consumers are lied to from the beginning. You never stand a chance of making an educated decision. You're lied to believe that firstly, this is humane, and secondly, it's necessary. We're here today to show you that them 2 things are a complete lie to keep you paying for this violence. Guys, as you're coming in the room, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to that conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. As predicted, the camera's already facing down watching us come in. This is a standard thing that they're doing now. Let's see what's going on here today. Wow, okay, lots of trucks here already.
2 trucks here already.
Trucks here already.
Just gonna get this tripod set.
Lots of trucks. Okay, so we've got 2 big factory farm trucks already offloading. One's offloading right now, and one looks like they've already offloaded, and the truck is being cleaned. And the reason why they need to clean these trucks is because these animals, when they're turning up here, they're so scared. A lot of them will wee and poo themselves. They literally have a fight and flight response. So their bodies are just dumping whatever's in their intestines. They're so scared. You can actually see on the way in, these lines of wee and poo. They're so scared as they're coming in on them trucks that their body's just defecating absolutely everywhere. Now, this slaughterhouse behind me, guys, is cows. You have dairy cows here from the dairy industry, and you have...
Flipping hell.
Wow, what was that?
Did you guys hear that noise?
Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to the conversation about veganism, and 3, if you don't care about animals. We're here today not to clash with the public, but we are here to talk to you and get you to understand why we are vegan and what we know, that perhaps when you know, you'll make the educated decision to go vegan too. This is a slaughterhouse. We are outside now, guys, and we are live. ABP slaughterhouse here in Guildford. They're killing cows here today from the meat industry and the dairy industry. I want you to know that the meat industry and the dairy industry are 2 different breeds of cows. One is exploited for their body parts, the other is exploited for their breast milk. Guys, as you're coming in this chat, it's going to move fast. We want to get to know who's in the room, so please spam the 1s for vegans, spam the 2s for non-vegans who are open to the conversation, and 3, if you're an anti-vegan, you don't care about animals, please double tap the stream and like it, and hit the subscribe and the bell button, because we go live outside slaughterhouses all over the UK every single week to bring you, the consumer, the truth. And the reason why we do this is because the consumer never stands a chance, because you are lied to. You're not even given a neutral position. They will never show you exactly what happens inside here. There is no transparency, yet the industry tends to crowbar transparency as some kind of seal of approval to the public. They do this by humane washing and lying to you. They have to spend billions of pounds to lie to you, to keep the conditioning strong, so that you continue to fund the evil that's happening right behind me, behind these gates right now. 1 in the chat for the vegans, guys. 2 if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. And 3, if you don't care about animals, please double tap the stream. Please subscribe. Now, guys, the majority of the world may not be vegan, but the majority of the world is a number 2. They're non-vegans who just don't know yet. Yeah. Because the majority of people are good people. They do have empathy in their hearts. They do have compassion, and they do care. But the trouble is the majority of people are still indoctrinated and conditioned by the system to not knowing what's happening behind here. So let us know. Put 1 in the chat if you are vegan. Put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to that conversation. 3 in the chat. If you don't care about animals, double tap the screen, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. Please, guys, we're here today to show you the truth, not to clash with you. If you heard the disclaimer at the beginning of this live stream, the disclaimer is not to clash with you, to point fingers at you and tell you you're a bad person. It's to show you the reality and the truth. Did you know that dairy cows are a specific breed of cow who are exploited for their breast milk? They have pregnancies forced upon them. They have their babies removed. After they've carried them babies for 9 months, they're removed. Whether they're boys or girls, they're removed from their mum within the first 24 hours. Boys are executed immediately because they're considered a waste product. They're often shot in the head or sent to slaughterhouses to be stabbed to death. The females go to isolation hutches, and as soon as they're sexually mature, they'll join the back of that dairy herd. They will never spend time with their mum ever again. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream and like it, subscribe and hit the bell notification, guys. Now, if you were born into the beef industry, the meat industry as a cow, they're the ones who you see in the fields with their mums. Okay, so they're exploited for their bodies. Their bodies have been genetically modified to grow so big that they grow extra large. Now, the reason why the industry leans on the fact that they leave them with their mums and dads in the field is so that the public, the general public, just sees cows in the field, happy family running around. There can't be anything going wrong here, right? Wrong. This is a smoke and mirror tactic used by the industry to not let you, the consumer, know the reality. Guys, don't be a number 3. What you've just witnessed there, guys, is a car just drove past and a triggered little crybaby troll shouting Burger King out the window. That's a real life number 3. Don't be like them.
We've got a lot of people saying, wow, I didn't know this, thank you. And we've also got a lot of number 2 saying, I love animals, but I do eat them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool. Let me start off by saying, guys, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Let us know, 1, 2, or 3. Let us know where you're from. Double tap the stream and like it and subscribe. Now look, a lot of people saying thank you for being here. Well, actually, thank you for being here. Thank you. If you're a number 2, if you're a non-vegan who has got compassion and empathy in your heart, if you do care, thank you for being on this live stream and listening to what we have to say. And I really want to reinforce, we are not here to judge you or clash with you whatsoever. Now, the people who are saying that I love animals, but I do eat them, you are literally in the position that 99.9% of vegans were in before they went vegan. We all love animals, right? We all love animals. But we have been conditioned to be what's called speciesist. We take some animals and we love them and we morally consider them. Like most people will morally consider a dog or a cat, right? But you give them a cow, a chicken, a pig, a sheep, a lamb, a fish. You have been conditioned to not care about them in the same way that you care about a dog or a cat. But when you break it down, what is the moral difference? Why is one morally considered more than the other? The realism, the actual crux of it is that there is no moral difference. All animals are equal. All animals should be morally considered equally. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to that conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. We're outside of a slaughterhouse right now here in the UK. We're here to bring you, the consumer, the truth. Guys, this is a slaughterhouse. I have to stop for 1 second. The smell here, guys, for the context, the smell is absolutely horrific. Now, we have got very blunt human noses, okay? Our smell is nothing like what cows can smell or their ability to smell. You can only imagine the fear that they must feel when they turn up around here and they smell what we can smell behind these gates right now. This smell is metallic, it's iron, it just smells like death. Did you know that the majority of dairy cows being sent to slaughterhouses are pregnant? Dairy cows, when they come to the end of their useful period. What I mean by that, guys, is when a farmer deems them non-profitable anymore, if the milk production's too low, if they become aggressive or they don't like being forced to have a pregnancy, then they become a problem. They come to a slaughterhouse. Did you know that they're sold on their body weight? So a lot of the time they come to a slaughterhouse pregnant because they weigh more. If they weigh more, they're worth more. They get more profit from them, even in their last moments. So a lot of dairy cows come to slaughterhouses and have their babies cut out of them whilst they're dying on the kill floor. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, guys. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to that conversation. 3 if you don't care about animals. Please spam the 1, 2s, and 3s so we know, so we get a good feeling. Subscribe to the channel and please hit the bell notification. We go live outside slaughterhouses every week to bring you, the consumer, the truth. Now, another tactic that the industry use is they'll piggyback not a good term actually, they will link onto other industries that the public trust. So you've seen the RSPCA Assured logo, you've seen the red tractor certification. Now these are two smoke and mirror examples of what the industry will use to keep the public thinking that what happens inside here is humane. How can the Royal Society of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals certify pigs in gas chambers? They can't. It's absolutely crazy, but the reason why they do it is every time they put their stamp of certification on a body part, the consumer trusts it, then the consumer pays for it, then the RSPCA Assured logo makes money. Guys, the simple way to avoid this is to be vegan. I'm going to swap in with Mel and let Mel take over for a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone heard there on the microphone. I actually just had someone come up to me and said, I just want to say thank you for being here. I'm vegan and I live around the corner, and every time I see the trucks, I cry. I cry and cry and cry. I'm currently having an interview right now with David over there. But the world is changing, guys. The world is changing. She was the other side of the road and she came across and said, well done. I don't know how you do this. And I explained that by being at a slaughterhouse and being on a live stream, it changes people's mindset. People on this live stream, you may not know. You may not know that behind me right now, there's cows inside these trucks. Mother cows from the dairy industries and from the beef industry. You may not realize that cows who are in the dairy industry are all sent to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in the throat. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan and you love animal abuse.
What are you doing here today? Where are you?
So I'm at a slaughterhouse here today. Behind me is the gates of hell for the animals. Animals are being taken behind these gates. Oh, sorry, there's workers who are moving here, so a truck potentially might come any minute. There's like 3 people who just turned up there. So cows from the dairy industry are forced pregnant. They're forced pregnant. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Guys, also subscribe and double tap that screen as well. It really helps push the algorithm out, because if the algorithm's pushed to more people change and more people go vegan. Veganism is not a diet, it just relates to your diet. It's just someone who's just normal, who doesn't oppress animals. That's all a vegan is. It's a non-action to be vegan. You're either vegan or you oppress animals. I used to not be vegan and I didn't know the industry. So we're not here to clash with you. We're not here to hate on you. We're here to defend the animals. That's all we're trying to do. Defend the animals from people who are paying for them to be killed in these places, which is called a slaughterhouse.
Mind your back.
Different security here today. Shameful. Shameful. This is an empty truck where the cows were on. They were on this morning and now they've gone through this gate of hell today to be killed. Now, I don't know if there's cows on that truck in there. Looks like they've hired extra security here today. I haven't seen the normal guy here for ages. Yeah, guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you love animal abuse and murder. Even on the back of that truck, they have a picture of a cow. It's all propaganda and lies to make people, good people, feel better about paying for absolutely horrific things to happen to animals. It's absolutely horrific. You will never see anything as worse as when you go inside a slaughterhouse. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Dairy cows just produce milk. They're not killed for dairy.
No, so dairy cows are actually grieving mothers. They grieving mothers. Dairy cows are grieving mothers. So what happens basically when a cow is sexually mature enough, she goes into something called a cattle crush. That's like a cage that goes around her entire body. She can't get out that side, but the farmer has access to her back end, and the farmer forces himself inside of her. He puts his whole arm up to his shoulder inside of her, injects with bull semen and makes her pregnant. She then carries her baby for 9 months, just like your mum did for you and human mothers. When she gives birth to her baby, if her baby is a male, they are considered a waste product. They are sent to a slaughterhouse at just a few weeks old or fattened up for veal at 6 months. If she gives birth to a female, she's taken away from her mother. She's kidnapped from her mother, put in an isolation booth until she is sexually mature enough, and then she goes through the same fate as the mum. The mum goes through this process over and over and over. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Truck here, guys, screen record right now, this side.
She's down, is she down?
Hey, baby. Baby, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't work in here. Don't work in here. So guys, this is where all those cows, there were beef cows inside that small holding farmer truck. People say, oh, small holding's better. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's all the same. It's all the same. They get taken to the same slaughterhouse. This is a slaughterhouse. That was a small holding truck, maybe 3-4 cows in that truck. They would be around 18 months old. Every single animal that you eat is a baby who doesn't want to die. They're individuals who have a life just like you, but they are oppressed. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you love animal abuse and murder. What's that? Pull this for?
See if we can see it. Let me see.
Yeah.
Pull
Just
it
going to
across
put
a
the
little
camera over and see if you can see inside. Let me just get the camera on here as well. So these small holding farmer guys, double tap that screen. Breaks my heart so much. Look, you can see a factory farm truck and you can see a small holding farmer's truck here. Both with animals on who don't want to die. Both with animals on who are forced into existence, into this world. They were forcibly bred into existence to keep up with demand. The whole time you're demanding animal products, they are killing them. They are killing them and breeding them into existence for you personally. And I'm not here to hate on you because I used to pay for this, but I didn't understand. I didn't know that cow's milk is actually for baby cows. I didn't understand that. I was drinking cow's milk for years. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Why were them cows going inside there today?
So they're beef cows going inside on that small holding truck today. So it's because people eat animal products. Like if you're eating animal burgers, like cow burgers or pig sausages or anything like that, these cows, these animals get sent to slaughterhouses. This is one slaughterhouse in the UK right now, and there's been 3 trucks go in within the first like half an hour or so.
Did you capture anything on that, Osmo?
Yeah, I think I did actually. Let me show you. Should I show you now?
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see what you captured.
You talk for a minute.
Okay, guys, so what we're going to do, we're going to show you what Mel's just captured on that small trailer. Let me just tilt this like this and zoom.
It's a little bit dark. I go to the back as well. Oh, they're just like big puppies. They're like big puppies. They didn't do anything to deserve this. Oh, look at their little faces. That's who you're eating if you're not vegan. That's who you're eating. You can be vegan today though, guys. Like we said, we're not here to hate on you. We're not here to rage bait. We're here just to show you the reality, guys. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen and subscribe as well. It helps push the algorithm out so more people can see what happens in these terrible places.
Someone said they're going to be killed anyway, so there's no point in me being vegan.
No, it's all about supply and demand. If you're continuously demanding their bodies to eat, then they supply them. So the way they supply them is that they force them into existence. Like I just said, in the dairy industry, they force themselves inside of the mother cow and make her pregnant to produce milk. They wouldn't be doing this if you didn't pay for it. The whole time you're vegan, you're increasing, not vegan, you're increasing the demand. The moment you stop, it falls and it falls and it falls. If you go vegan, you save around 200 animals every single year. That's thousands and thousands in your lifetime. I used to pay for animals to be killed. And the other thing is as well, you're gonna die as well. You're gonna one day die, but it doesn't justify murder to you as well. You should have a life that you should live within your own rights.
How does it make you feel when you see them animals come past looking in your eyes?
Yes, that breaks my heart. It everything inside me like hurts. It hurts for them, and that's my empathy. That's my empathy for them. I'm just hurting. I see their little eyes and I think, why? Why are people doing this to them? Like, if anyone has a dog or a cat at home, look into their eyes, because these cows and these chickens and these pigs are no different. They're no different. And it's so shameful that we do this to them.
What made you vegan?
The dairy industry. So amazing activist called Joey Carbstrong showed a debate online where he was debating the dairy industry. I was drinking cow's milk and I didn't even know what there was to debate about the dairy industry. And I clicked on it because of that. Now, he then showed inside of a slaughterhouse, he showed a mother cow being killed, having her throat slashed open, bolt gun slashed open, and it broke my heart. Myself and my husband just cried on the spot, and we didn't have to say we're going vegan. We just knew. We just knew that was the logical thing to do, because I can never be the person to make an animal suffer and beg for mercy inside their places of hell like this. So it was just a normal thing to do. Anyone, I know anyone on this chat, even the trolls right now, If you saw a pig in the street being kicked and battered and had a knife slashed in their throat or forced in a gas chamber, I know you would defend them. That's our natural instinct, guys.
David, 2794's gone vegan.
Amazing, well done for going vegan. Thank you on behalf of the animals for going vegan for them, because it takes good people to go vegan. Good people just don't pay for this. You don't want slaughterhouses, you don't want animals to go through this and suffer and die and get stabbed in the throat. Just don't pay them. It's really as simple as that. It's not rocket science. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you are open-minded but you're not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please subscribe and also double tap that screen as well.
Where can people see what happens on the inside?
Yeah, so guys, in our link, in our description, so 3 dots in the corner of this live stream, go and watch something called Dominion. You will see inside of these places, you will see there's even FSA breaches at this facility right now. The FSA breaches, if you type ABP Guildford, you can see the FSA breaches, and they're not even adhering to the animal welfare guidelines, but they're crap anyway. Even if they did, there is no right way to stab somebody in the throat who doesn't want to die. And if you are like, oh, yes, there is, well, there's no right way to stab you in the throat if you don't want to die. It's not okay, guys. This is a slaughterhouse right now. I'm outside this hellhole facility. We just witnessed a small holding truck go in here next to a factory farm truck. When people say, I buy from local, I buy from this, it's all the same. It's all horrific. It's abuse, it's suffering, and it's murder.
Kyle just gone vegan as well. That's another 2 vegans now.
2 vegans already, amazing. This is the power of showing people the reality of what happens to the animals. The animals are the best ones to show because they're the victims. They're the ones going through it with their bodies. They've had their babies taken from them, kidnapped from them. They've had their skin ripped off their bodies. They've had, sorry, I'm like, whew.
No, you're doing well.
Our friend here is an ex-slaughterhouse inspector, and he used to work in these industries. And you know what he said? At every slaughterhouse where there was dairy cows, he saw pregnant mothers. A lot of these mothers are pregnant. Shameful, how dare you? How could you? You're such a traitor. Every single animal farmer is a traitor to those animals. You just saw a moment ago, those poor cows came on in that trailer. The farmer has now just ditched them at a slaughterhouse to be stabbed. He's taken his paycheck. He's now going home, probably to make more animals pregnant. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you love animal abuse and murder. Double tap that screen. Please subscribe. We are outside these places all the time, guys. I'm just going to switch over with Steve quickly.
Okay, guys. Like Mel said, guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. 3 if you don't care about animals. I want to make a point of saying we're not here to judge you or argue with you. We're not here to clash. We're here to defend the animals, and we do that by conversing and letting you know the truth that we found out.
People are saying you're not vegan. What about your protein?
Protein comes from plants. Your body needs nutrients, and you can choose where them ingredients come from. So when you're given the option to choose ingredients that didn't scream for their life inside of a slaughterhouse, why aren't you choosing that option? Why isn't that your default position? Guys, I want you to notice something. That truck that you just saw leaving, that was a small holding truck. If you look over the gate here, that red truck there, that's a factory farm truck. That's industrial farming there. For those people who think that they'll buy small, local, you're supporting the same slaughterhouse. We're not here for welfareism. We're not here for bigger fields, more water and greener grass. We're here for animal rights. We're here for the animals, to liberate them, to give them their bodily autonomy back, to give them their freedom, to give them their right to their own life. Now, guys, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you agree with that statement. Put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to why we're here and our conversations. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please also, let's put some hearts in the comment section for the animals that we are witnessing live right now, going in here to be executed. For us and for you, this is a talking point. For us, we talk about it. We have options. We can either action them options and action them choices or not. But for the individuals who just got driven past us now, they have no choice. They are going to be executed today for an optional product that you do not need. You do not need cow's milk. You do not need cow's bodies. It's an optional product. Now, why? When you have a choice to avoid that violence, aren't you choosing it? Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. And 3 if you don't care about animals. Please double tap and like the live stream, subscribe and hit the bell notifications. We're outside of a slaughterhouse right now.
Are people bad people if they're not vegan?
Listen, the thing is, right, a lot of people who aren't vegan, They don't even know. They don't even know the realities and the truth. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 if you're not vegan but you're open to that conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Now, when you say, is a non-vegan a bad person? I don't think that someone's an inherently bad person because they're not vegan, because I know that when I was not vegan, I wouldn't have said I was a bad person. I would have said I was undereducated. I would have said that I was ignorant. I didn't know the realities and the truths, but it's not my fault. The reason why the consumer doesn't know the realities and the truth is because the very industry that lies to the consumer and leans on the fact that they're transparent and humane and proud of what they do, they sell this lie to the public, to the consumer, to keep the consumer indoctrinated into believing what they're paying for is okay. The reality is that it's not. And this is simply why we're here with a camera, to expose the truth and the reality. Now, if this industry was super proud and transparent, why were they rushing these animals in? Why is there big spike fences? Why is there CCTV? Why is it a complete secrecy what's happening behind us right now? Why do activists have to go into these places covertly, put in cameras to bring out the basic truth? Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the screen. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and keep them hearts coming in the chat for the animals who are losing their lives today right behind me. It is absolutely heartbreaking to witness them come past here, to look them in the eyes, to see their gentle nature, to see their inquisitive noses poking out the side of them trucks. And I know what's going to happen to them. They're going to be taken inside that layerage. They're going to be walked forward onto the kill floor. They're going to be bolt gunned in the head, hung up by one leg, and they're going to have their back, their necks slashed open.
Can we get people to do the hearts because it's too fast?
Yeah, guys, okay. The chat's moving really fast. So guys, instead of 1, 2, 3, put green hearts in the chat if you're vegan. Spam loads of green hearts if you're vegan. If you're not vegan but you're open to the conversation, put red hearts. And if you are an anti-vegan, then just, I don't know.
Black heart.
Put a black heart in there. Yeah, put a dark heart in there, a cold heart. Most people aren't number 3s, right? Most people are non-vegan, but it's just because they don't know. How are you going to know? The consumer never stands a chance because the industry won't tell you the truth. As a consumer, did you know that any product that you buy that contains pigs, you have paid for a 6-month-old piglet to go inside of a gas chamber and be gassed in CO2 gas to death? Did you know when you buy eggs, you're paying for an 18-month-old chicken to go to a gas chamber? Did you know that when you buy chickens' bodies, you're paying for a 6-week-old disabled chicken to go inside of a gas chamber? And please know that I am not mixing up my facts. I am saying gas chamber because that's how over 90% of animals are killed. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, guys. Ones if you're vegan. 2's in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to why we're here. 3 if you don't care about animals. And put the hearts in the chat.
There's a lot of red hearts in the room. There's a lot of number 2s who are open-minded, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, open-minded people, thank you for being in here. And this is what I say, people with compassion and empathy don't know the truth. Our objective isn't to clash with you. If we clash with you, if we argue over silly things, if we name call each other, if we point fingers, what good does it do the individuals in there who are the real victims, who are having their lives taken today? It does the animals no good. We're here to turn your head against the industry. Now let me tell you, most number 2s, most non-vegans who have a compassionate, empathetic heart, when they go vegan, they're no longer angry at vegans. They're no longer triggered by vegans and the message. Do you know who they're really angry at? They're angry at the system, they're angry at the industries that have made them pay for some of the most horrific violence. When you buy cow's milk, do you know that you're paying for mother cows to have pregnancies forced on them, to have their babies taken away and killed? Did you know that them tiny little male calves in the dairy industry, no bigger than like a German shepherd, they are executed at weeks old as a waste product because they don't produce milk? Guys, please put 1s in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to that conversation, 3 if you don't care about animals. Now you might wonder why I keep looking this way. I'm looking this way because this is the direction that the animals will be coming in here today. The animals will be coming through. We're going to show you them live.
Someone said, I bet he's never been onto a farm.
Go onto our main channel. This is our It's Mel and Steve live channel. If you go onto It's Mel and Steve, our main channel, which is the purple logo, you'll see all of our farm investigations. We've investigated dairy farms, beef farms. We've investigated pig farms. We've investigated chicken farms. Go and have a look at our main channel. Go and subscribe to the main channel. You'll see a lot more investigations coming out. There's a lot of farmers that come into these chats to try and continue the propaganda and the humane washing. They come in here and they try and discredit what vegans are saying to the general public because they're worried, they're panicked. Because the minute that the general public wakes up to the violence that they're supporting when they're not vegan, they remove themselves from that industry immediately. The minute anyone with a compassionate heart realizes they're sending mother cows to be executed with babies inside their tummies for cheese, anyone with compassion and a brain cell says, no way am I paying for that ever again. They go vegan.
But don't cows make dairy for us?
No. Cows produce breast milk for their babies in the same way that human women produce breast milk for their babies. But you have been indoctrinated and conditioned to believing that for some reason, cow's milk gives you calcium and gives you protein. It's an absolute load of nonsense. If I put a glass of dog milk in front of you, would you drink that? Of course not, because you've not been conditioned to drink it. Then why the hell have we created this evil, violent, exploitative system for these gentle, childlike beings to drink their breast milk?
Someone's asking, where are you and what's the truck behind you?
Okay, so thank you for that question. We're at the moment outside of a slaughterhouse. This slaughterhouse is an ABP food group slaughterhouse. The truck behind me, that red truck, has got animals on it. They're just taking the animals off and putting them inside what's called a layerage, which is a big holding pen for the animals while they wait to get executed. The trucks on the left are refrigeration trucks. Once the animals have been executed, they've had their heads chopped off, their skins ripped off their bodies, and their body parts dismembered. They go into little plastic packaging. They get put in that refrigeration truck. Then they get sent to supermarkets. When we talk about the supply chain, the supply and demand of these industries, you are not so far removed to what you think. Every time you go to the supermarket and you buy a block of cheese, a pint of milk, a body part, you are directly funding the next victim to go in. These are supply and demand industries, and if you want them to stop, you simply remove your support and you become vegan. On that note, if you've already done that, put a 1 in the chat. Loads of 1s in the chat if you've already removed your personal support for exploiting baby animals. 2 in the chat if you're non-vegan, but you are open to this conversation, you're open to what we're saying, you're open to this message. And put a 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. And I want to reiterate, we're not here to clash, point fingers, and argue. Most people are not a number 3. It's not normal, by the way, to see animals being executed and exploited and then defend it with mockery and laughter. That, to me, is a psychopath. That's crazy. Majority of people are a number 2. Now, guys, we're about to show you something really sad.
I'm going to stand up there, Steve.
Now, they're going to try and not let you see this. Is it a big?
Yes,
Let
massive.
me just pop this here.
I'm just going to stand on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look at the security, look. They're ready to run this truck in because they don't want you seeing.
Here's the animals coming in here now.
They don't want you seeing the realities and the truths. I'm so sorry, babies. These cries are help. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I'm sorry, babies. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. We're trying so hard.
Evil industry. Evil industry. Don't work here. Go and use your SIA badge for something good. Evil industry. Can you hear them bellows?
Crying.
Can you hear them cries of help? Can you hear them animals literally crying for help? Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. For me, them cries for help will never leave me. Them cries, them bellows, crying out for someone to save them. It literally even sounds like they're saying help.
They are, yeah.
Help. Help. If you want to help them, if you want to stop this, if you want to end this suffering, then you just become vegan. Stop being the reason that you're personally responsible for these darling animals. Listen to them.
Oh,
Listen to them cries of help. It's just so sad. Absolutely heartbreaking. Let me see if I've got any of that footage. I'm so sorry.
Please help them, please.
I'm so sorry for what my species have done to you.
Oh my God.
Them poor babies.
This is heartbreaking.
That cry should ring out. That cry should ring through your heart. That cry should make you feel empathy. That cry should make you feel distress.
Oh my God.
You know, one of the hardest things when you hear these cries and you see these animals in these positions, I know for them there is no way out. I know for them their biggest fear will be met today. They will meet the knife today. They will meet the bolt gun today. Their bodies will be dismembered. By the time you go to bed tonight, their whole existence will be gone. They'll be killed. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to why we're here. And put 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. We can hear animals crying their last cries of help as they're being taken inside that slaughterhouse. That blue truck that you can see on the screen right now has cows bellowing for help on there. They are crying out for help, and they're crying out to you. If you're a number two, if you're a non-vegan who does have empathy and compassion, this is their cries of help to you. Are you going to hear them? Are you going to help them? Are you going to take action? Are you going to hear the cries of help from a childlike, innocent being like them cows and hear that calling and go vegan? Are you going to use that empathy in your heart and that kindness in your heart and action it? Or are you going to stay at number three, someone who doesn't care, someone who's so selfish that your taste pleasure, your culture, your religion, your social pressure systems, your indoctrination will continue to make you the personal reason why these innocent babies are taken inside this slaughterhouse to be executed and die.
Look at her.
Guys, this is a slaughterhouse. We are live. This is an ABP slaughterhouse here in the UK. These cows are cows from the industries of dairy and from the industries of milk. That guy just gave me a really nice thumbs up and a head nod. Now that was someone with compassion and empathy. They know what we're doing. They know that we're here to defend the animals. But the big question is you, the person listening to my voice and listening to them bellows of cries for help. What are you listening for? Are you going to hear them cries of help? Are you going to hear them cries of mercy? Cries of mercy, empathize with them for 1 minute. Put yourself or someone you love in that position. Maybe even put a companion animal that you love in that position. How would you feel?
Who's in there, Steve?
In that blue truck right now, there are cows. And them cows are going to be executed for products like cheese, yogurt, milk, and beef burgers. Right now, I'm about 20 meters away from that truck, and I can hear the bellows of crying out for mercy and help. I've been to sanctuaries. And I've heard cows, and they do not sound like that. There is a distinct bellow and cry for help from cows outside the slaughterhouses. It breaks my heart. Every time I'm here, it resonates with me. I can really hear it. Now, I've got some slow-mo footage.
Oh,
can you still hear her crying?
It hurts my heart.
Guys,
so
put one
much.
in the chat if you're vegan. Put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. And 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. I want to reinforce the point that we are not here to clash with you and to argue with you. The reason why we are stood here right now is because we understand the plight. Listen to that. Can you hear that? Can you hear that in the chat? Guys, let us know if you can hear that in the chat. These animals are fighting. They don't want to come off that truck. They know where they are. They know what's happening. Look at the size of that truck and the whole thing's shaking around. All you can hear is them banging around. Now, there is the potential that you have downed cows on there. Now, a downed cow is a dairy cow who has been exploited so much that they can barely stand. And a lot of the time when they're put into these trucks to come to slaughterhouses, they fall. They can't get up. You may be hearing them struggling to stand. They're exploited so far that they lose the ability to even stand. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. Please double tap and like this live stream. Hit the subscribe and the bell because we show you the truth 2 or 3 times a week at various slaughterhouses. The cries and the bellows of help you can hear right now, they are specifically for you. If you're a number 2, this is your day to change. This is your day to be educated on the violence and the exploitation that you support if you are not vegan. Because there it is. There is, in the cold light of day, there is the reality and there is the truth. There are your victims going inside. Now, it doesn't matter if you buy 1 chocolate bar a month. It doesn't matter if you buy 1 carton of milk a month. You still contribute towards this violent industry. The only way to not have the blood on your hands is to be vegan and to remove your support for this violence. It's so simple. If you hear them bellows of cries, how does it make you feel? For me, even as an animal rights activist, as a vegan for nearly 5 years now, when I hear them animals crying out of that truck, I still feel it hit my chest like a ton of bricks. It still resonates with me so deep.
People are saying dairy cows aren't killed for milk.
Dairy cows are specifically killed for milk. Now, there are 2 breeds of cows. Dairy cows, cows who are exploited for their milk, and beef cows, cows who are exploited for their bodies. They're 2 different breeds. Dairy cows are specifically genetically modified to produce more milk. They have pregnancies forced on them. They have their babies taken away, whether they're male or female. Boys are executed immediately. Females join the back of the dairy line. And they are on average executed at 3 to 5 years old when their milk production declines.
I think we potentially might see the unloading. This truck's about to leave.
That truck's about to move. Okay, guys,
I
so
can
you
still
may
see
be
the
able to
cows
even
on there.
see them coming off the back into that layerage. Now, a layerage is basically a holding area. It's a waiting room to be executed. Look at them animals at the top. Can you see them? This is their last glimpse of the light of day. When they woke up this morning, this was the last time that they saw their friends and family. This is the last time that they slept last night. When they woke up this morning, they had just as much hope in their heart as you do for freedom, for their life. They probably are thinking, when is this farmer going to stop exploiting me? When is this farmer going to stop hurting me? When will I get to see my family and friends again? When will I see them? But the reality for them was very different. The reality was for them was they were going to be put on this truck today and brought here to be executed. Absolutely horrific.
Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded. Not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat.
Shame on you. Shame on you. You'll be able to see it now.
Steve, I can see the layerage. I can see now, Steve. This is the unloading area. You might see the cows come off now.
What you're witnessing right now is their last walk. This is their last walk to death. These animals do not want to die. They are, if you've ever been around cows, they are some of the most gentle beings on this planet. They are huge, gentle giants. They have literally the kindest hearts. They are slow, soft, gentle. They avoid confrontation. They don't like to be in a confrontational situation. They are very family orientated. Cows have best friends. Cows will nurture and love their babies in the same way that human women do. The dairy industry is absolutely violent, it's exploitative, it's immoral, it's unethical. The dairy industry is dressed up as an industry that is just a byproduct. Cows just eat grass and produce milk. The reality is very different. But why, as a consumer, are you never told that dairy cows have these pregnancies forced on them, their babies taken away and executed, and they're executed when they can't produce the milk? Why does the consumer not know this? From an industry that is supposed to be so proud, humane, and transparent, why is there a distinct lack of transparency? Why don't the public know? Why don't you know that they use gas chambers for piglets and chickens? Why don't you know that all these animals are shot in the head, held up by one leg and stabbed to death? Why don't you know that? We're here for animal rights. Animals deserve the right to their bodily autonomy and they deserve the right to their life. These are two bare necessities, bare minimum. This is the bare minimum that they should be granted. Who do we think we are, forcing these animals into existence? Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Spam 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Loads of number 2s in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation as to why we're here showing you this. And put 3s in the chat. If you don't care about animals, please double tap and like the stream. Please, guys, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. We go all over the UK every single week to bring you, the consumer, the reality and the truth, because the industry never will. The industry do an amazing job at putting up smoke and mirrors and humane washing you. They don't even want you critically thinking about this. They don't want you to question it. This is why they use things like the RSPCA Assured logo, the Red Tractor certification, to keep the consumer indoctrinated. The second you see an RSPCA Assured logo stamped on a body part in a supermarket, the consumer is led to believe the RSPCA defends and protects animals. Therefore, nothing bad must have happened here. This is far from the reality and far from the truth. The RSPCA Assured logo is a business. They make millions and millions and millions on the body parts of animals sold under that logo scheme. Guys, put 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you have already removed your support for this violence personally. Put number 2 in the chat if you currently pay for this, but you're open to this conversation and want to be educated in what we're doing here today. And put a number 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream. Please like it, subscribe, hit the bell, and let us know where you're from. We're here today to defend these animals, not to clash with you. We're here to lawfully protest, not cause alarm, harassment, distress, or intimidation. We don't need to. All we need to do is show you the reality and truth. I'm looking in there to see what's going on. There's shifty movement inside that slaughterhouse today. I don't like it. We got new security guards. There seems to be new security guards every single time we come here now. Why is that? Maybe the old security guards don't want to be here anymore. Maybe they've seen the reality and the truth. We've had security guards tell us that our presence outside slaughterhouses has made them see the reality and the truth and has made them leave their job. They've messaged us personally thanking us that if we hadn't have enlightened them, if we hadn't have applied that pressure, they may have stayed there, never even second guessing the industry that they were part of and the violence that was happening right in front of them. Guys, please put 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Please put 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation. And 3, if you don't care about animals. What you're witnessing on the screen right now are animals being led to their death. Now, when this truck come past a minute ago, there was a particular individual, and I could tell that it was just one. Yeah. I could tell it was just one cow in there. Yeah. And she or he, was bellowing cries of help. It even sounded like help. It was heartbreaking, it's harrowing, it's distressing, it's so sad. I'm gonna swap over with Mel and let her tell you what she's experienced from her side.
Yeah, so before I do that, guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. I'm actually gonna show you those poor victims so you can hear crying then. I think, Steve, you managed to get the camera up on there. Yeah. So I'm just gonna show you now. Just not sure how much you're gonna be able to see.
Oh, thank you so much for your super thanks. Ali709, good luck. You guys, appreciate you all.
Thank you
so much, Ali. Thank you.
Oh,
can you see them in there?
Dairy cows, see dairy cows.
Rewind. Oh, no, it's good. I can see.
Dairy
no, maybe rewind just slightly.
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Okay, guys. These are the animals who just came past us. Let's get some hearts in the chat for them. Get some hearts in the chat.
So we have it on... There you go.
Can't see it particularly well. Oh, bless her. Look at how foamy. She looks so thirsty.
Yeah, that's another thing farmers do. They don't feed them for 24 hours before they go to these places.
You're right, dairy cows in there.
Yeah, so farmers actually don't feed the animals 24 hours before they go to a slaughterhouse because they see that as not profitable. Because they don't care about the animals, they only care about profits. So if they're going to feed to animals who are going to be killed the next day, they're like, nah, it's not worth it. So these cows will go in here starving and thirsty. That's why their mouths are all foaming. It's disgusting, it's horrible, it's so sad. Anyone on here who's been on here, have you changed? Like, is this affecting you? Because it affects me so much. Number 1 in the chat, guys, if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and subscribe. Please help the animals because this is a slaughterhouse. They don't want to go in here. We just listened to this poor cow crying out from that truck, going into this hellhole, and it's so sad. Everything in you wants to protect them. I hope that everything in you wants to protect them as well. And you can by living vegan. You can by living vegan. If you're not vegan, you can go vegan today. This is the most powerful thing about knowledge, right? When you have the knowledge, you then have the power to change. We didn't know this at one time as well. I didn't know what happened to animals. But if you're not vegan, you pay for animals to suffer and to die, get murdered. You pay for forceful pregnation. You pay for their skins to be ripped off their bodies. You pay for the most horrific torture, abuse, and murder to the most innocent childlike beings on the planet. Please stop today and be vegan.
Mickey has just gone vegan.
Amazing, thank you. Another vegan. We had so many people go vegan today. Thank you to those of you who have been open-minded, who just didn't know the industry, because that's not your fault. They pay so much money to lie to you, to make you feel better about paying for such violence towards someone else and rights violations. They make you believe that you should be drinking cow's milk. That's the peak of their propaganda and brainwashing. Double tap that screen, guys. I'm at a slaughterhouse right now.
Why were there dairy cows and beef cows on that truck?
Okay, yeah, so in the dairy industry, when a mother cow can no longer produce milk anymore or no longer produce babies or can't stand up anymore because she's had so much abuse, torture, torment, she gets taken to a slaughterhouse around 5 years old, roughly. She should live around 27 years old. When there's beef cows on the same truck, this is because in the dairy industry, they are now using like a different semen from like a beef bull for the female. So they make her pregnant with a beef cow. She then gives birth, so she still produces milk. But the baby, if they're either a boy or a girl, they're then fattened up for 18 months and then sent to a slaughterhouse. They're trying to maximize their profits. Okay, they're trying to maximize their profits. That's all they care about. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2, write that in the chat if you're not vegan but you are open-minded and you just don't know the industry, and it's not your fault. We're not here to judge you guys. Number 3, if you're anti-vegan. I'm at a slaughterhouse today. The reason we come to slaughterhouses is because people don't even think about them. When you go to the supermarket, you never think slaughterhouse, you just see body parts. But in your mind, you don't even see body parts, you see food. When I used to go and buy a chicken burger, I just thought, oh, I really fancy a chicken burger, but I didn't even think about a chicken. It's crazy. It's like the disconnect. It's cognitive dissonance is what they call it. They have brainwashed you to make you this way. It's on purpose that they do this. Okay, this is why when kids eat animal products, they're shaped like little dinosaurs and they're shaped in like circles because you don't see the animal.
If people are upset by what you're showing them and what you're telling them, where can they see more and what can they do about it?
Yeah, so if this has touched your heart today and you are like, yeah, this is wrong, please urgently act for them. The first thing you do is you go vegan, which is just you don't pay for animals to be oppressed, abused, used, and commodified on your behalf. And then you can look at Dominion. Go to our description in our live stream. There's something called Dominion that you can watch. It's about an hour long. It's something that no one ever regrets watching. In fact, every single person in this world wishes they saw Dominion sooner. So please go and watch that to see the reality. There's also Challenge 22. It's free to sign up to. You can get a mentor to help you as well. If you have any questions, nutrition questions or anything like that, everyone's there to help because these people run off passion. They just want to help the animals, so they will help you in turn.
What made you vegan?
The dairy industry. Joey Carbstrong, an incredible activist. Go and follow him. He does videos and he was debating the public about the dairy industry. I always drank cow's milk. And I was like, what's there to debate about the dairy industry? I really thought that cows just eat grass and produce milk. I had no idea of the horrors behind the dairy industry. Now, he explained it. He explains that cows have to be forced pregnant to produce a baby. And when they have a baby, they take their baby away from them. They kidnap their babies. And then they milk her until the milk starts running out. Then they make her pregnant again, take her baby again. Now, for the mother cow, this is torment. If you're a mother or a parent on here, if someone took your baby away from you the moment you gave birth to them, you'd be tormented for years. You'd have PTSD and you probably wouldn't want to live anymore. Now, these cows have to face that year in, year out. It's horrific, it's hell, and I had no idea. And then every single cow in the dairy industry goes to one of these places, which is a slaughterhouse, to be stabbed in the throat. It broke my heart when I saw it. Any normal person who sees it goes vegan. Yes.
How did you feel when them animals come past a minute ago? What did you hear? Tell people who've just come in.
Yeah, so...
in that blue truck, right?
Yeah, so in that blue truck behind me right now, as they were coming in, the cows were crying. They were crying. And I know they were crying because I know the difference between a cow's cry and a cow at a sanctuary. Cows at sanctuary, they move different. They feel relaxed. Here, that's like a help me. Like cows can smell up to 5 miles away.
It really sounded like help,
it
didn't
did. It was literally breaking me. They can smell up to 5 miles away. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the screen and please subscribe. It massively helps us help the animals. We are not here for us. We are only here defending the animals. So please just do that small action to help us and please be vegan.
Are you here to rage bait people?
Absolutely not. We're here purely for transparency and to defend those victims. We're here for that cows, all those cows who are crying going into slaughterhouses today. We're here for those pigs who are forced into gas chambers every single day. We're here for those disabled baby chickens who are also forced into gas chambers and all the animals who are oppressed by our species. We're here just to educate because we didn't know once.
Suno Peak, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. Suno Peak's comment was, how can we support you guys?
Oh, that's so kind of you. Please just double tap the screen by commenting, liking, sharing. We do have a Patreon as well. I think everything's in our link. I don't really like to say that kind of stuff when we're outside a slaughterhouse, but that is kind of the ways you can help. Just we're trying to be full-time activists, so yeah. But yeah, just your support means so much, guys. Thank you so much. Super thanks.
Where are you and what have you seen today?
Yeah, so guys, for anyone who's just joined the live stream, I'm at a slaughterhouse right now. Please, anyone in the live stream, put number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan, someone who hates animals and loves animal abuse and murder. So we're here today. We have witnessed many trucks going in today. A minute ago, just witnessed grieving mothers going into this hellhole facility to be stabbed in the throat for products like dairy, her own breast milk, because humans are actually drinking the breast milk intended for a baby cow. That's what cow's milk is for. That's what it's for. I used to drink it as well, so I'm not judging you. These disgusting industries have brainwashed us. These farmers have lied to you. It's so bad. It's so wrong. And you have a right to know the truth. I was angry that no one told me the truth. I'm not a baby cow. I'm not a baby cow. Why am I drinking the breast milk intended for another baby who was dead, who's been murdered because I was drinking their breast milk? It's so unfair, guys. Please, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
What do animal farmers do to the public to keep them conditioned?
Yeah, they brainwash you. So you'll often hear, right, oh, factory farming's bad from these farmers, right? And then they'll say, oh, we love our animals. We love our animals. We give them the best lives. It's a load of crap. We go and investigate these farms. We've been inside these places. There is no love in sight. Zero. They hate these animals. If you can force someone into existence, take their baby away from them, you at night time can hear the cries between these cows and these animals. I've had kids from farmers who have messaged saying, I don't know what to do. I can hear these cows crying. It's breaking my heart, but my mum and dad are farmers. What do I do? It's horrific. Kids can understand and have empathy, but these farmers lied to you, and then they probably lied to the child saying something like, oh, we have to do it. We love our animals and all that kind of stuff. It's just lies, because all they want is your money. Every single animal that they force into existence and farm goes to a slaughterhouse. They drop them off and they leave them around these knives and dangerous people who will stab them in the throat, and they just drive away. And you know what they do when activists are here? They just swear at us and stuff. No, they hate the animals.
Renee McMillan 2724, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. I want to make a point to let you know there are loads of number 2s in this chat right now.
Is there really?
Loads.
Thank you to all the number 2s in this chat. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on this live stream. It's so important that people know. So I just want to see who's actually in the chat again. So let's get green hearts if you're vegan. Green hearts if you're vegan. Red hearts if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet. And black hearts for those anti-vegans. It's not normal to be anti-vegan. Most people are a number 2 because you don't understand the industry, and that is not your fault whatsoever. It's not your fault. They lie to you constantly. Every single advert you see is just a lie, 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 lie. Oh, best welfare, oh, best farming, oh, animals love their animals, oh, small holding farmers. It's not that. We've been inside these small holding places. We see small holding farmers drop the animals off. And actually, at this facility, I've seen a small holding farmer get a rod out the back of his car and prod the animals in.
Yeah.
It's horrific. Guys, sorry. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap that screen. Please subscribe. Please ask questions as well, guys. We're here not to rage bait. We're not here to clash with you. We're here to help educate and defend the animals who really need us. And also to any vegan who's not active, please be active for the animals. We actually run something called Project Livestream. We've got David the ex-slaughterhouse inspector also live streaming right now as well. He used to work in these facilities. He's seen things that you haven't seen. He's seen a mother cow be pulled up by her back leg on the kill line, have her skin ripped off her alive whilst they're cutting into her stomach to take her baby out of her. Pregnant mothers go inside these facilities. You'll see, if you don't believe me, you'll see on these standards of how they deal with babies still in their womb.
Why are they going in there pregnant?
Because they are more profitable, because they weigh the animals. They're more profitable by their weight. So if they're pregnant, then they get more money. It's absolutely disgusting. The other day, we're at a small abattoir, is what they call them, a small slaughterhouse. We saw a sheep have their skin cut off their face. We saw that. And we're just trying to show people this is the kind of stuff that happens when you wear leather. It's not a byproduct, it's a flipping industry. When you wear wool, it's an industry. I used to wear Ugg boots because I was like, oh, my feet are always cold. I used to love wearing Ugg boots. I didn't realize that's someone's wool. That's someone's skin, and that's also a baby's male calf skin as well. It's hell. It's just awful. Please look into the wool industry as well. You'll be
Someone says
shocked.
you're lying.
You may say that to help you feel better about paying for such violence and oppression towards animals. Now, I would not be outside a slaughterhouse and lie. All we have to do is take a camera and show you. Okay, that's why we are live streaming, because people often go, the industry have forced into the world that vegans use propaganda, whereas actually that's projection. They use propaganda. All vegan or activists have to do is just hold up a camera and be like, there you go. That's what they're doing. Check out Joey Carbstrong. Go and subscribe to Joey Carbstrong right now. He has uncovered some awful horrors at every single place he investigates. He just puts a camera in. That's all he does. Number 1 in the chat, guys, if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Please subscribe and please double tap that screen. Let's get the what's the likes on?
305.
Amazing. Let's get that to 350.
Describe the environment, because it's so unique at these places, right?
Yeah, true.
And the difference between pig slaughterhouses, chicken slaughterhouses, cow slaughterhouses. Explain how you know where you are.
Yeah, so the first thing you notice, if you ever come to a slaughterhouse, actually, if you ever drive along and you can smell a smell that you don't know what it is, but it's disgusting, it's likely a slaughterhouse, or you've just driven past a truck that's got guts and heads and stuff in and blood. That's that smell, that heavy metallic smell. When you go to a chicken gas chamber, you will smell like a very acidic, urine-y, it like gets in your eyes. When we went into that pig farm for 3 days, we were coughing for 3 days. Now those piglets in that pig farm is like this big in those farrowing crates. You know what I saw? They had their umbilical cords still attached, whilst their tails had already been cut off with scissors. They've already been dismembered, whilst their umbilical cord is still attached.
Where can people see our investigations?
Yeah, so guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. You can see our investigations on It's Melon Steve. It's our purple channel, so it has a purple logo. You can see where we have gone into these places. We took a non-vegan inside these places. He's now vegan. We took him to undercover inside of a UK British pig farm, which was hell. Absolute hell. Go and see for yourself. You can see for yourself that mother pigs are forcing farrowing crates, which is the size of their body. They're put into these farrowing crates for about 5 weeks to give birth to piglets. I saw rats eating these babies in front of their mothers. I saw dead babies in front of their mother's nose, blood everywhere, rats everywhere. It's hell. We said when we went in there, it's a maternity ward from hell. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Yeah, go to our main channel, guys. It's in our playlists. It's how to turn a non-vegan vegan, and there's 3 videos to watch. You'll see all 3 videos. Maybe explain to people who are coming in what that blue truck is behind you, what you heard, and what's happening now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to finish the pig part. So after we took him inside the farm, we then took him to a gas chamber where they kill the animals. 88% of pigs in the UK and across the world are killed inside CO2 gas chambers. They're piglets when they go inside, 6 months old. We took him there, he heard the screams, he looks into their faces, and he went vegan. He went vegan on the spot because the farm showed him the reality, but it's not about welfare. Even if they had a great life, it doesn't matter. They still get sent to a slaughterhouse. Now behind me right now is a slaughterhouse. In this blue truck, we just witnessed cows going in here crying as they were going in here. We looked them in the eyes. They were bellowing out. They were bellowing out. You know how you know that that's a cry? Is because it sounds similar to how humans cry out when they're desperate. But if you can smell blood and you can hear screams and you just see knives and you're scared, you're in an environment you've never been before, you'll cry out too. We then witnessed them get unloaded off from that big blue truck. But I've also witnessed their small holding truck come in here as well with beef cows on, 18-month-old babies. Every single animal that you eat is a baby. You may not know this, by the way, so we get very passionate here, by the way, but we are not here to judge you. We're just here to educate and defend the animals. Steve, can I switch in with you quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course it is. All right. Okay, guys, so yeah, look, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. I want you to just consider for a minute, let's just critically think about the food system and what you're told, and why a lot of people in there are saying that we're fake or we're lying. The reason why you believe we're fake or we're lying is because it directly contradicts all the lies, the actual lies that you've been told. Now let's think about it. If you run a business and you need to sell your product to people, you tell them exactly what you want them to know, exactly what you want them to hear, to make sure that they spend their money in your pocket, right? So the meat, dairy, the egg industry, the leather industry, the wool industry, the animal testing industries, the entertainment industries, they would never be transparent with the consumer. Imagine if they did. Imagine this for a marketing pitch. Hey guys, buy cow's milk. We forced the cows to be pregnant and stab their babies to death to make that cheese, but that's okay, right? Hey guys, come and buy your bacon sandwiches. These piglets are 6 months old when we gas them to death, but that's okay, right? Hey guys, come and bet on these horses, because when you put your money across the counter, we run these horses until they die. Or hey guys, come and buy these nice leather boots. Look how nice they are, durable, they last you for years. But they did scream for their life inside of a slaughterhouse. If the industry was transparent, the consumer would never spend a penny in their direction. So if you want to talk about fakeness and lies, look at the actual industry that has lied to you.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, there's a lot of people supporting us, like Lord of the Pancakes. I support and appreciate the message you'll put out and everything you do. Someone else, Deep Goth Vegan, be vegan, stop the death and violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop the death and violence. Kind of is a self-explanatory statement, isn't it? It's perfectly put. Stop the death and violence. That's the reality that you're supporting when you're not vegan. But the truth is that you don't know about it. You're lied to. You believe in two lies.
Oh,
go on.
Interesting. Lord of the Pancakes supports us, but he's actually a number 2.
Okay, well, listen, Lord of the Pancakes, the fact that you're a number 2 and you're supporting us, we appreciate you being in here. Yeah. You're exactly who we're trying to reach out to and to educate and to converse with, because you're a non-vegan that is empathetic and you're open to the fact and the conversation as to why we're here. And most people are in your position as a number 2 before they become a number 1.
Yeah.
We are here on one sole objective, and that is to educate the public with compassionate, kind hearts who have never been told the reality and the truth. Now think of it like this as well. This industry spends billions of dollars, billions of pounds to lie to you, the consumer. What do? We come here with one simple phone and press go live, and we show you the truth. When we do it, they have to have security here manually running this gate to keep the animals hidden. They have to literally turn everything up a notch. The camera is pointed at us the whole time we're here. Everything is dialed in to keep the secret alive, to keep the smoke and mirrors there. They don't want the consumer seeing the truth. Ask yourself, if we're here with one sole reason to film the animals as they come past us, if this was all ethical, humane, and all okay, why would they try so hard to stop us from doing it? Why would they try to stop you, the consumer, seeing the eyes of the animals as they come past? Why do they not want you to see the individual before they're executed for that block of cheese, that pint of milk, that chocolate bar? Because anyone with an empathetic heart, when they see the victim of their choices, if it doesn't sit well with them, then they remove their support and go vegan. And when you do that, they lose money. This is a business. Guys, one in the chat, if you're a vegan already and you've already removed your support for this violence and death. Number 2 in the chat, if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation and wondering why we're stood out here live from a slaughterhouse today. And put a 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals and you believe that they're here for you to exploit however you like.
What about people who can't be vegan?
Everyone can be vegan. Everyone can be vegan. And you know what? If you want to take a situation like, let's say like an Inuit, and you think that they can't grow crops in the North Pole, so they can't be vegan, then we have a moral duty to take them food there rather than have them execute animals. Yep. We have all the logistics in place to be able to do it. We have a moral obligation to provide food to people in remote areas who can't grow their own food. Absolutely. There is still no justification to force animals into existence to execute them.
What would you say to people who say they hate vegans?
I don't care if you hate vegans. We're not here to make you like us. We're here to defend the animals. You can hate me with every inch of your body, but you must hear the message that I have to say to you. The reason why people hate vegans is the majority of them, they know that we're right. They know that the vegan message is right and it's uncomfortable. It's someone holding a mirror up to you and saying, you're unethical and you're immoral in your choices if you're not vegan. So the easiest thing to do is hate the vegans. But listen, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to do this for likes, for shares, for people to like me. I'm here to defend the animals.
Yeah, and also I think it's kind of weird to hate someone who defends animals. That's all vegans are, just people defending the animals.
It's a case of hating, it's a case of shooting the messenger.
Yeah.
They don't like the messenger because they know the message is right. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to this conversation. 3, if you don't care about animals, please double tap and like this live stream. Please hit subscribe and the bell notification. Do all them things because we go live at various locations all over the UK, all over the weeks, over the months, to bring you the realities and the truths. We do this because once we went vegan, we realized the only way that these animals are ever going to get liberation and get rights protecting them is if we use our freedom, we use our voice, we use our bodily autonomy, and we defend them. They have no hope. They have no hope of this stopping unless good people change.
Is it easy to go vegan?
Absolutely. I'll tell you why it's easy to go vegan, because you focus on the why. The reason why you should be vegan is because you're personally against animals being exploited for you. When you realize that, all the other things, we call them how vegan, they always fall into place. Why should I be vegan? I don't want an animal going inside of a slaughterhouse to be killed for me, no way. How am I going to get my protein? How am I going to deal with a social situation? How am I going to deal with social pressure? How am I going to get the taste pleasure? They all come second. They're all how problems that come after. The reason why being vegan is easy is because you have the victim in mind. You have the victim as your focus. That truck that you can see on that screen right now, that had individuals on that this morning who did not want to die. They were loaded up on that truck. They were brought here to be executed for optional products, and anyone with empathy and compassion in their heart would be against it. Go back a little bit in the live stream and you will see that truck coming in here. Now, when that blue truck came in, I heard an individual on that truck screaming and bellowing for help. They were her last cries to the world to help. And as she came round, it even sounded like help, help. To me, this is my opinion, this is the slave trade. These are slaves on this slave truck being brought here to be executed because they no longer fit their role as a slave.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Now, the reason being is because what would I identify a slave as? Someone who has no bodily autonomy, someone who's given a number, someone who has their whole environment controlled from the minute they open their eyes to the minute they go to bed. Someone who is dictated to if they're profitable or not, if they're useful, if they can fulfill a task. Someone who doesn't have their subjective experience of a world morally considered. That's who I would class as a slave. Now think about the cows on that truck. Now think about the individuals who just drove past me screaming and crying out for help to the world. And one of the most heartbreaking realities as an animal rights activist stood here at these slaughterhouses every single week, I hear them cries weekly, and I know that there is absolutely nothing that I can do for that individual. I know that there is no way that I can stop the inevitable murder of them today, right now, and that is heartbreaking. The only chance that I have of stopping this happening is when people like you with compassionate hearts, and number 2, who isn't vegan yet, but is open to this conversation, I hope that we reach you today to make you aware of the violence and the exploitation you support, and to get you to remove your personal support for this industry and be vegan.
Someone said, yeah, but it's legal to do it, so why should I stop?
Just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's moral or ethical. In fact, most laws are based around morality. We need to morally consider animals and then make it illegal to exploit them. At one point, it would have been legal to have owned a slave. It would have been legal to have done whatever you wanted to do with them. Just because something's legal doesn't mean that it's ethical or moral. The law should change.
Someone just said, yeah, but they taste so good.
Taste pleasure is never a justification for exploitation, violence, and murder. If you were the victim, you would never accept that weak excuse, and you'd want to be liberated and stop being oppressed. Yeah. Why? Because they're a chicken, a cow, a sheep, or a pig. Do we expect that they just have to deal with your selfishness? I'm going to put my taste pleasure before their whole life, their whole existence. Yeah. Bear in mind, we don't just exploit animals. We take everything from them. We strip them of everything. They have nothing. We take their bodily autonomy. We take their freedom. We take their skins. We take their flesh. We take their secretions. We take their family. We take their babies. We take their liberty. We take absolutely everything from them. And not only do we do it, there are people in the world who are number 3 who mock them whilst it happens. Now, I want to ask you, if you're a number two, if you're a non-vegan who is open to this conversation, what's the moral difference between any animal and yourself? Your dog, your cat. What's the moral difference?
Someone's just put, sorry, but slavery and animal exploitation are two completely different things. Do not compare that.
Absolutely not. And do not discredit the animals. That's disgusting.
That is vile.
That's disgusting to discredit the animals in that absolute disregard for them as an individual. In my opinion, slavery and animal farming are a direct link. They are directly correlated. They are exactly the same thing. There is no difference. Just because someone has feet and someone has hooves does not change the violence, the exploitation, and the injustice. Each individual is sentient. They're having a subjective experience of their life. Who are you to say that their subjective experience of their life is less than yours, therefore you can do whatever you want to them?
And also, in any sort of human war, I've never seen humans get blended up alive in blenders.
No. What happens to the animals is the worst atrocity the world has ever seen.
Yes.
It's the largest, it's the worst, it's the most violent, it's the most horrific.
Yeah.
The animals above every single human species have it and have had it the worst. By no means. They have got it the worst. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals and you believe that they should be exploited for you. To give you context where we are right now, we are outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. This is an ABP slaughterhouse. Behind me right now, they are executing cows for milk, cheese, chocolate bars and burgers. This is absolutely horrific. We are live.
Diamond Girl put, commercial farming is evil, not small scale humane farming. No, I think it's just genuine.
Yeah, this is a genuine misconception. Yeah. Thank you for your comment. This is a genuine misconception, and it's because you've been sold a humane lie.
Yeah.
It's bad if we do a lot of it, but it's okay if we do a small amount of it. Well, today, if you flick back in the live stream, you will see the factory farm trucks, like this blue truck that's behind us right now, and you'll also see the little small holding trucks, the trailers that come past. Now, every single animal, whether they come from a small holding farm or a factory farm, all end up here at the slaughterhouse. Same knife, same kill floor, same slaughterhouse. This is a rights violation. We are not here for a welfare issue. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. If you're against factory farming, you should be against small, local, and all that other crap. And just to put you straight, there is no humane way to do this to animals. There is no ethical way to do this to animals. It can't be done. The dairy industry on a small scale is the same as the dairy industry on a large scale. Cows still have pregnancies forced on them, animals are still killed.
In fact, there was actually a study done in Germany which showed that small scale, from an abuse point of view, is worse because the animals rely on the humans to give them their food, whereas factory farm, it's automated. So remember that farm we went on, the cows were so skinny.
Yeah. And you know, there's other layers to this argument as well.
Yeah.
Let's steel man your argument and say that small holding farms really care about their animals. They don't, by the way, because we've investigated them, but they make you believe they do.
Yeah.
Now imagine that. Imagine these few little cows, few little pigs, few little chickens on this small scale farm. They would look at the farmer with absolute love. They would look at the farmer as in, this person is the one who cares for us, who gives us belly rubs, who gives us our food, they care for us. What ultimate betrayal the day that that farmer loads them onto that small holding trailer and drops them off at a slaughterhouse and leaves them here to die. Absolute ultimate betrayal. If these small holding farms are more close-knit and they do spend more time with their animals, the animals are going to trust the farmers even more. Ultimate betrayal. Disgusting.
Yeah,
1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals.
I just thought of an analogy. It's like, you know, if you have a dog or cat at home who you love, it's like one day just picking them up and taking them to a slaughterhouse to be stabbed in the throat. Just so you can understand that's what that would be for them.
Guys, it's super simple, guys. If you are someone who is not vegan but you are kind, if you're someone who's not vegan but you have empathy and compassion, you just haven't seen the right information yet. Now, to see the right information, if you're not going to stay on this live stream for very long, at least go into the description and click on Dominion and watch Dominion. Click on Pignorant and watch Pignorant. And then click on Challenge 22. 3 links there. Just open them in your browsers and keep them there for you to watch later on when you've got time. It will show you the realities and the truths and why we're here today.
Someone said, I love animals, I don't like what's happening, but what is a vegan?
Okay, so a vegan, thank you for your comment, firstly. A vegan is someone who has seen the realities behind the lies that the industry have told them, and we have decided to remove ourselves from any industry that exploits animals. Most people are vegan by heart. You're probably vegan by heart, but you just don't know the realities and the truths.
Yeah.
So all a vegan is someone who has removed their personal exploitation. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. If you want to know who a vegan is as well, by the way, go in the description and watch Dominion, and at the end of watching Dominion, you'll be a vegan, and you'll understand what a vegan is.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are saying there's humans dying in the world. Why are you focused on this?
Because this is the biggest atrocity, this is the biggest injustice there is. The animals get overlooked every single time. There's always human issues that come up before the animals. But the reality is 80 to 90 billion land animals are forced into existence every single year. 2 to 7 trillion sea animals. The scale of death for them is a huge magnitude compared to what happens to humans. Why are we so superior? Why have we got this superiority complex to believe that humans are more valuable than animals? What a disgusting mindset to have. Animals are here with us, not for us. You can care about human rights issues at the same time as not paying for other individuals to be exploited and executed for optional products. And in fact, how do you go around preaching peace when you have violence on your plate?
Yeah.
It's absolutely hypocritical to go around saying you should be caring about humans all the time that you're paying for piglets, chickens, cows, sheep, fish, any animal to go inside of a slaughterhouse to be executed for a product that you don't need. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation, and 3 if you don't care about animals. We're live outside of a slaughterhouse. Animals have been dropped off here today. A cow in that blue truck behind me come around the corner bellowing, crying out for help. It was some of the most horrific, harrowing cries I've heard. It was so sad.
Yeah.
You know, I say this a lot, and apologies if you get bored of me saying this, but it's something that really stands out to me as we go to these places all the time. One of the most deafening sounds for me at a slaughterhouse is the silence. When I hear animals come past, when I hear animals crying from the layerage, and then all of a sudden it's silent. And it hasn't gone silent because they've fallen asleep or they've become settled in where they are or they're happy. The silence is because their lives have been taken, their eyes have been closed, their life is no longer.
I just got to say to this person who can't seem to understand how slavery of humans and animal exploitation is the same. Like, how can you try and defend human slavery and trying to be against that whilst you're consuming the animal slavery, the animal exploitation? It's worse with what happens to the animals. Is actually worse with the suffering and torture. But
Listen,
it's all bad.
You know what it may be? The person commenting this, you're a number 3. You're a triggered anti-vegan. When you talk to the general public about this topic, there is always going to be a small percentage of people who just don't get it, who just don't care, who just will always put humans above and will never morally consider animals. But I want you to know that you are the smallest percent of people. Yeah. The majority of people right now are a number 2, a kind, empathetic person who's not vegan because they don't know the reality of the industries. That's not their fault. The reason why they don't know is because the industry is absolutely factored around you not knowing. Our objective, our mission in life is to bring you the truth and the reality. We're showing you what the industry don't want you to see.
We just had a lot of people come in the room. Maybe we'll explain where we are again.
Guys, we're outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. This is an ABP slaughterhouse. They're killing dairy cows and beef cows here. 2 different breeds of cows, and they all come to this slaughterhouse to be executed for optional products like beef burgers, milk, cheese, dairy. We're here today not to clash with the members of the public, not to clash with you or to point fingers at you and call your names. We're here to come alongside you and turn your head against the industry that have lied to you, indoctrinated you into believing 2 lies. Firstly, that this is necessary, and secondly, that this is humane. They are both absolute horrific lies. This is not necessary, and it most certainly is not humane. Guys, put a 1 in the chat as you come in if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open to this conversation. And 3 if you don't care about animals. I'm going to swap over with Mel. You're probably bored of my chat right now. Here's Mel. She can take over from me for a little bit. We're here, guys. Animals will be coming in. Stay in this live stream.
Yeah.
Please double tap the screen.
Animals
subscribe.
have been in today, so you can see on the floor there's feces from these poor animals who've been afraid, they're scared. When animals are super afraid, they go into fight and flight mode. They have something called an autonomic nervous system. So when you're so afraid, your body releases everything from your body. That's why you see so much wee and poo everywhere as they go into this hellhole to be stabbed in the throat. That's why when they're coming in, they're crying, they're bellowing out. We've stood outside slaughterhouses all around the world. We've stood outside pigs' gas chambers, CO2 gas chambers. We've listened to those piglets at 6 months old cry for their life inside gas chambers here in the UK. It happens every single day by the billions, by the way, the billions. Inside here, they're stabbing animals. Baby disabled chickens get gassed as well, turkeys. Anything else to support?
Was that a support?
Yeah, both support.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Support? Good. I've got a question here from Red Toad Engineering. Question: what is the difference between a well-executed small-scale farming operation, I mean real small-scale, not fake, and carnivores hunting in the wild like tigers and lions?
So you're talking about the killing? The killing to the victim it's both the same. It's both the same. It's both horrific, it's torturous, it's evil. You're saying about small holding, it's because they've brainwashed you, basically. They've used propaganda to make you think something humane can happen when you stab someone in the throat or blend them up in a blender. Because that's what happens to male chicks in the egg industry. They blend them up in blenders or gassing someone alive. It's horrific. But the difference in that situation, though, is the animal eating the other animal in the wild has no other option. I still don't like it for the victim. For the victim, it's still bad, but what else can that animal do? Now, you're not in the wild. You have shops, you have Tesco's, you have supermarkets, you have options. When you can be vegan, why wouldn't you? There is no right way to stab you. Actually, yeah. What about if there was an animal that killed, like a bear that killed a human, or we had a small-scale human animal farm where we killed them as well? What's the difference?
Yeah, good.
Like, it's both wrong, right? It's both wrong. Guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. I just want to say as well, this isn't like a real rocket science thing for you to understand. It literally is black and white. If you're not vegan, you pay for this. You pay for slaughterhouses. You pay for animals to be forcibly impregnated, you pay for kidnap, you pay for disabled babies to be gassed alive, you pay for piglets to be gassed alive, you pay for every single animal to be stabbed in the throat, you pay for the most horrific violence and exploitation to animals, or you can be vegan, just don't pay for it. You literally just don't pay for it.
Renee's put, oh no, we're still having to do this.
Yeah.
Shouldn't everyone already know that there's no necessity anymore to exploit other conscious life forms that are trapped with Homo sapiens on this planet?
Yeah,
absolutely,
yes,
Renee.
well said. They are trapped purely because humans live. The animals are trapped because of us. We're horrible to the animals. It's awful.
Explain the blue truck, listen, what happened?
Yeah, and I just want to say as well, where you said where there's no necessity, there is zero justification to do this.
Yeah.
I'm at a slaughterhouse today. There is a blue truck behind me right now who just brought dairy cows in from the dairy industry. Mother cows, grieving mother cows who've had their babies ripped away from them, kidnapped from them, crying for them all through the night. And this isn't anecdotal. I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes. The grieving mothers coming through this truck, crying out as they're going into a slaughterhouse. Our hearts were breaking. They break when we're at these places. But those animals are inside these dungeons, waiting to get forced into the kill floor to be stabbed in the throat. Wow, so much support today from the public.
Support?
So much
Someone
support.
here called Jim Bro says, I run a cow farm. It's funny how so much time from these hard-working farmers is spent in vegan live streams trying to defend their violence to animals, right?
Yeah. Shame on you for running a cow farm. Shame on you. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Because every single animal that you look into their eyes, you're going to betray them. You're going to send them to a slaughterhouse where they beg for mercy. They beg for their lives, and you don't know that because you drop them off and you leave them. Shameful. It's shameful what you do. The world hates animal farmers. The world hates them. Some people are just brainwashed and they don't understand what you do because of your lies and your propaganda. We don't give animal farmers the time of day because they actually oppress and they abuse and they make animals suffer and then they send them to be murdered for money. Every single bit of clothing you have on your body is blood money. Your house is blood money. Every bit of food you eat is blood. Everything is blood. Your hands are blooded and it's hard to wash blood off your hands. Right, guys, number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Number 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. Number 3 if you're anti-vegan. For anyone who's been on this live stream and you've been here with us, witnessing these animals going into slaughter today, I hope so much that you have been affected, because when you are heartbroken, when you are affected, you change. When you have the power of education, you then are powerful because you can then change. Do not pay for slaughterhouses to exist. Do not pay for animal testing facilities to exist. Be vegan. Watch Dominion in our description. Subscribe to this channel, and thank you to every single animal legend in this chat, animal defender, activist. We're going to see you on the next stream, guys.